Our next presenter on the Lightning Talk session is Lorenzo Fontana.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming to listen debugging the eBPF virtual machine. I'm Lorenzo Fontana, and today I'm going to talk to you about just very basic things that I understood while working on eBPF programs that I want to share with everyone. Debugging is a very useful technique that everyone uses to just understand how program is behaving. It can also be used with the eBPF by just putting together two concepts. The eBPF subsystem lives in the kernel, and the kernel can be debugged using GDB. With that in mind, we understand we need just a couple of more things than normally. We need a kernel image, a root file system, an eBPF program that doesn't work, of course. If not, we can go to the redebugging, and GDB. To get the kernel image, you just download the kernel and compile it. The important thing is that you need to enable debugging symbols under kernel hacking compile options. And we need a rootfs. I just use build root, important, it must be ext4 and have networking and SSH demo so that we can use it to copy files into and start things. Once the kernel is compiled, rootfs is compiled, we can just start the VM with QEMU and just expose SSH port as needed. Once that is started, we can try to load our eBPF program. I created a simple eBPF program for this, which is faulty, and we don't know in which way yet, and also a loader for it, so that it just loads a program and makes it work. This program is already copied in the machine because I prepared it. Oh no, it went away. Great. I can copy it in the machine after compiling it. I already compiled it, and now I can start it. Just doesn't work. How do I debug this? I went a bit ahead and started understanding where the breakpoints are and everything is, because I don't have much time in this session, but it's important to notice that it's just putting breakpoints in the kernel and going ahead until you find the actual point where you are having the problem. I can connect the GDB session by well, this is not wrong, this is the wrong directory. Kernel Linux, GDB, VM Linux. I can just at this point use a remote target. So target remote localhost 1234, which is one that I already started. And by doing trial and error with the debugger, I noticed that I have to put our final breakpoint during buff C159 and continue. Once that is done, I can just try and start the program, and it will hit the breakpoint. It actually hit the breakpoint in this place, and as you might remember, we had an error 22 which corresponds to inval. And in this function there are only two invals, and this is the second one, and this one is the actual one, because after looking at the code we immediately noticed which was the error in my program, which is that I basically put max entries that is not a power of 2, so just putting 4096 is gonna work. Clang program SCP, I might just need to stop this and continue here and maybe quit so that I don't stop anything. And here I can just copy the program again, and now A out doesn't work yet, so I probably did a mistake. Oh yeah, I need to copy the program too. All right, now it works. I can start any binary and it just show me the thing. Now back to slides. Another way to do the same thing is by using verbose and just putting it in your code in the kernel instead of putting breakpoints. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lorenzo.